symbol that designates you jumped, and it's a little like heartbeat symbol, but I don't make a big deal out of that, just as long as there's a little gap so you know that's 0, and then your data starts over here.
Okay.
Otherwise, it makes it look like your data starts at 0.
So you started it.
Yeah. Normally, I don't think I kind of took a point off for that if you had some other stuff going on, like you didn't label it or something else was missing.
What would the correct labeling have been? Quizzes, quiz off, quiz grades,
I swear to God.
frequency.
Thought this was going to work. Hey. All right.
Are you ready to go over these corrections?
So what was the correct labeling? What was the labeling? Frequency on the vertical and what? Quiz grades on the horizontal?
So if I remember correctly, one of the biggest mistakes was not labeling your axes, right? So frequency there. A few people had their percentages there. I didn't ask for a relative frequency, just a pure frequency, right? Then down here, this would be like grades on quiz 1, in stats class or whatever. So there should be no gaps in between these, right? This has got to be a true scale here. A little bit of normally they actually put a little heartbeat symbol that shows a break. But that's not really used too much anymore. That's just understood. Your data starts there. You're skipping a bunch of empty space. I think just a couple of people had a lot of empty space, and then your data starts. It's okay to skip a bunch of empty space and start your data. It's understood that there's nothing there to show, right? You're not misleading somebody. Let me think about the other mistakes. Any other questions? Specific questions? Yeah.
Will you go over how you do your classes, like with the arrows?
So in this one, like in the book, if the book said to do 69, and let's say your width was 7. So the book method would actually have you do this here, right? And then what would have to go here? 75. And then you can start doing by 7, and you'll be fine. 7, 7. The way I would set up the same table would be right here I'd have 69 included, don't include 76. Include 76 here, don't include 83. Include 83 here, don't include 89. So forth. Not 89, sorry. 90. So you can see the 7, see the 7, 7, 7. Right? And there's no ambiguity there. 76 definitely goes here. Are there any gaps? No. They line right on top of you. There's an empty line here, but then this comes in and fills it right in. A few people did this way. I love it. Most of you guys did this way. I love it. Whichever way makes more sense, do it. Right? Either way, I don't care. Yeah.
How would you label the graph at the bottom?
This one you have to do 68.5, right? To 75.5. And just keep going by 7 now. 82.5. This way is awesome because you just go 70, 69, 76, 83. So if you set up your distribution like this, but you had scale like this, no. You're setting it up like that, you better do the scale the right way. You've got to show your boundaries then. Whereas here, the boundaries are the same thing as the limits. Therefore, I am showing my boundaries because they're the same thing as my limits. Right? That's why personally I like this way better for doing it myself, but you guys can do either way.
Can you go over how you group together the last class into more class width, like when the class width kind of extends into like 100?
I think sometimes some people think that the data points themselves have to show up in your classes. It doesn't. I mean, if my highest data point was 98 and my highest class came out to be like 101, that's fine. Not a damn thing wrong with it. You just have to have a place for every data point to go into. This does not have to equal 98. So I think just 1 or 2 of you guys are trying to force it to equal out. Right? I'm not sure that really answers your question though.
So you're saying you can go from like 93 to 100 even though there's not the even amount of numbers as the class before it? That was confusing.
So if you do this way, and you go up to like 98, let's say, but you know that there's one more data point, 99, and instead of making another class, you can suck it in here, that's fine. You can only do that if your width comes out to be a whole number. That's the only time it's going to really happen. Some of you guys were kind of, it was 97 and you had a 99 and you're going ahead and extending it 2 places. No, no, no. Can't do that. It's only if it's a whole number. What the rest of you guys were doing was you got a width of, let's say, 6.25 and you rounded that to 6. What's wrong with that?
You gotta go up.
You gotta go up. Because it's gotta be at least 6.25 to fit. So if you make it 6, hey, you just screw yourself over. Right? So people thought, okay, I want so many classes, let me just make the last class really big. No, you can't do that. Right? So that's why you always round up. So here it would be 7. And then you won't have the problem. It won't happen at all to you. It's only when it comes out to be a whole number that things get weird at the end, and that's the only time you're allowed to then step it up to the next number. Yeah. Instead of making a whole different class.
But when you graph it, you can't put 98.
If you're doing it this way,
Yeah.
you have to have the limits. I mean the boundaries. These are the limits. You need to show the
If I
boundaries.
put 98, you just circle that the question mark.
Exactly, because you're supposed to use 98.5. Yeah. And again, I'm not going to go crazy with those kind of things. I mean, that's really, really picky, and I'm not really, I know I'm a math teacher, I'm a statistics teacher on top of that. And you normally think, oh God, Mr. Picky, but I'm more concerned about concept. I'm just trying to display data. So as long as you don't go big against the concept, if you show me that you understand the concepts, you're not going to lose much points for that. If that's the only place you forgot to go by half, it doesn't really bother me that much. Yeah.
I thought you mentioned something about when you have the classes and you divide them. I mean, when you have them like 76 and 76 at the bottom. I thought you said you didn't know where to put, like, if there was a day that ends on 76, where would you put it? Is that where?
Yeah. Does 76 go in here? No, it's less than 76. This is equal to 76, so 76 has a definite place. Yeah. So this method just doesn't have as much ambiguity as this method. But for some reason I've noticed most books are going this way with no real explanation of why. There's nothing wrong with this method at all. I think because a lot of students just don't like the inequality symbols. But to me it's great. There's a good showing of where the hell you use inequality symbols. I mean, they make my job easier here. So obviously, I meant to get a lot more homework graded. I barely got any homework graded for you guys. Just trying to get my other classes graded. So by this Wednesday, I'm going to have everything graded you've turned into me by today, so you have it to look over for the test. I've got the practice test. So let me go ahead and give you guys the practice test actually before I forget. If you got to leave early or something. I'll have the answer key for this on Wednesday. When's the test? No, Monday's a holiday, so
Wednesday.
I'm not going to do that. Yeah, next Wednesday is the test, right? So this Wednesday is going to be review day to get ready for the test.
Are you going to select those?
No, these, I give you the answer key. You don't have to do these at all. You can do as much or as little of these as you want.
None of our tests are
Because we can get into a tough question 1 and then it starts
the only one right now. There's other ones. There's other key ones on the other people that you're at.
So guys, a couple things. So I have the answer key for this Wednesday, like I said. On Wednesday will be review day. I'll also cover what can be on your formula sheet for the test. You cannot use the practice test while you're taking the actual test, so don't be overly optimistic. Yeah.
How many questions will be on the test?
Normally between 20 and 30, counting all the ABCDs. Because I always hate it when a teacher says, oh, there's only 4 questions, and then there's A through J. Yeah. Yeah.
For one short.
Okay. Bless you. Thank you. All right, guys. Oh, I don't need this. What I want to do today is to do a quick example, a little review of standard deviation, how to find it. We're going to do it in the calculator. Now, I'm going to show you the ultimate shortcut where you push a couple buttons and the calculator tells you the standard deviation. And that's always when students say, well, why the hell do you make us go through all this other crap? And it's because you're learning the ideas here. You're not just learning what buttons to press in the calculator. You've got to understand what goes into creating standard deviation to really help you understand what standard deviation is. So just remember, I'm not going to, once we're out of chapter 3, once we're past test 1, I'm never going to make you find standard deviation by using these tables again. We're just going to use the calculator and get it out, because we'll have enough other stuff to do after that, right? Oh. So I've actually got some data. I think to make this a little quicker, I took the first 8 people on my roster that had a quiz grade and just wrote their quiz grades down. And the last 8 people on my roster and wrote their quiz grades down. Because part of me, I'm always curious about, early in class I remember that I was always at the end of the line. I was always the last one to get lunch in my class, Waller, right? And the stupid, people with the last name Aaron, AA. Fred Aaron, he's up the front, yeah, get the good stuff, and what's left over for Jeff. All right. So I'm always curious if there's any disparity, grade disparity between people with last names early in the alphabet versus later in the alphabet, right? So you can make a big study out of this, but we're going to do a very small study. And I'm going to first do it all the way out, full table for the people of the first 8. And then we're going to do a shortcut method for the last 8, and then see if we can make any comparisons between the two. Okay? So here we go. I, of course, did not bring any calculators with me, so if you don't have one, just sit there and watch. So just remind you guys, how do I get to those tables? Stat. Edit. Yeah, good. So the first thing I want to do, let me clear out the first 3. I can just go up to L1. Don't hit delete, because that'll actually make the list go away. Hit clear, enter. Go over to L2, clear, enter. Over to L3, clear, enter. That's exciting. What do I want, obviously, in my L1?
Grades.
Yeah, the data points I'm looking at. So let me put up here what I'm going to want to see from you on a test or a quiz. Here are my data points for the first 8 people on my roster, their quiz grades. I've already sorted these.